What's up with this? You're a government supporter. What's up with this?
So the ban, if you study, is the ban is not very rigorous, to be honest.
What is
So
it
the
like?
ban was, the government issued a statement or issued, guidelines 3 months prior that the following things are needed to be changed in social media, on social media platforms and their workings. So a proper time of 180 days was given, and 120 days. I'm so sorry, 120 days was given, and so the requirements were that there should be a chief nodal officer for a social media company, and you will be classified as a social media with 50 lakh users if you have 50 lakh active users, and the origination of the true message of the initial message should be the first generation point of any message which was sent or which is forwarded many a times. जैसे हम WhatsApp पे देखते हैं, it gets forwarded, then forwarded many a times. So the true origination of that message should be disclosed to the government if the government asks for it, because to protect some things that are hate speech, that are violence inflicting comments, that are mass gatherings for something which is accepted in the society, and so on and so forth. So in my opinion, WhatsApp claims that the true origin of message is direct attack to your personal privacy. But in my opinion, if you look at it, that
Your opinion.
yeah,
In your opinion.
no, but
Speak for yourself, please. मेरे को time मत कर.
so what I think of it is that it is good until unless it is also somewhat required, because we see in this cancel generation, we see a lot of things, a lot of news which is censored in some way or the other. Either it is pro-government or it is anti-government, but it is censored in such a manner that you just get half of it, and half knowledge is the worst thing that can happen to us. So what I feel is that this is right, and this is not attack on privacy, because if tomorrow I'm a user of WhatsApp, all of us communicate WhatsApp. It's an household.
This
household name.
isn't just WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, this is let's
This is
take
Facebook, Twitter, all social media.
So if this rules and amendments were passed earlier, we could have easily the happening that happened, boys locker room, that was on Instagram, and there were many people that were discussing about it. So if this rule was then implemented back then, boys locker room, I guess, would have never happened. Situation like that, some
So,
people.
So let me play devil's advocate. So I get the point.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind social media companies having to have a nodal officer, or
Someone to
a
respond
CCO,
to.
a chief complaint officer, or
chief complaint
something like that. But where the line gets, where the waters get murky, is when
What does it get?
waters get murky.
Murky. Yeah. New word of the day. Murky.
So where the waters get murky is when the government asks who the originator of a message was.
Yeah.
Ideally, in an ideal world, that sounds good. I don't have a problem in an ideal world.
Yeah.
But guess what? We don't live in an ideal world. So, if the government is asking that who is the originator of the message,
Yeah.
first of all, the whole privacy talk of WhatsApp, Facebook, Google, and all, why did TikTok get banned? Because TikTok was supposed. Why did Huawei is not allowed in the US?
US.
It's because everyone knows that these Chinese companies have government intervention. They have to give their data to
to the government.
Chinese government.
Yeah.
So that is the concern. But now our Indian government says that we want to know who the originator of the message is.
Yeah.
So in an ideal world where the government specifies that this is our intention, we don't want hate speech, we want to curb any violence right at its origin, like stop it before it trickles
Happens.
out. Who decides what is hate speech? in that case? The government.
In that manner, you know what, regarding hate speech is pretty much clear. You know, if
So-
certain religious terms are there in some speech, and you know, there are still people who get there was this influencer recently that said something about the scheduled caste people, and you know, she made fun of them and she got jailed, and then
So
there was
so
penalizing in it.
but when the government decides, okay, Narendra Modi's government has been irresponsible in handling the COVID situation, is this hate speech?
That's criticism, that's not hate.
But you think that way. I think that way. It's like the analogy I want to make is, you have a telephone company, right?
Right.
Two people are talking over telephone.
Right.
Like, the company isn't supposed to, or the company knows that you two people are talking, but
Yeah.
they're not listening to your conversations.
Yeah.
That is essentially what WhatsApp is, right?
Right.
They know who we're talking. They know who you are. They know who I am. They have our phone numbers, our location for a lot of time.
Yeah.
But let's say the government says that we want to know
Right.
who is talking
Yeah.
in case we find something suspicious. So
Right.
first of all, you keep a track about what the conversation is happening,
Right.
and then you tell us
Right.
who the first person was to start the Chinese whisper, essentially.
Right.
How does that sound to you?
Now, I would like to make a counter. Now, your point is valid that, you know, government is what someone else thinks is, you know, cannot be predicted. Human nature cannot be predicted. I might take something offensive, and it is subjective. For something that might be offensive for me, might not be offensive for you. But my point now here is that Facebook and WhatsApp, they are both owned by Mr. Zuckerberg, right? And he was in the conspiracy of selling millions and millions of data to companies like Cambridge Analytica. So in any manner, your data is never safe. Facebook actually agreed in US Senate that they did this during the presidential elections for USA, and when Trump won, and you know, so on and so forth. So Facebook is actually doing the same without your consent. So you know what?
Well, it's not without. I mean, everyone knows.
So did you say yes to please sell my
It's
information?
a tacit agreement that you give us.
So that's what now government made it clear.
No, but like, okay,
It's in white paper in front of you.
like, but Facebook can't put you in a cell. Facebook can't send you in jail. That's the argument. Like, if the government knows, like, government can do anything.
So what do you think? Cambridge Analytica was working for whom?
Look,
They were working
It's-
essentially
it's-
for the government to
it's
come. They
essen-
formed the government because of that.
The argument essentially is like, are you okay with Facebook knowing what you're talking about, or are you okay with the government knowing what are you talking about?
In either
And-
cases, both know what
and-
you are talking about.
And in this case as well, currently Facebook knows where you are. Let's say.
Exactly.
Facebook knows what your number is. Facebook knows what apps do you.
Facebook knows
Facebook-
that we are in this room.
Facebook knows what sites you visit,
Yeah.
what products you see on
Jump apps,
on
yeah.
Amazon, everything. But Facebook doesn't know the content of your conversation because it's end-to-end encrypted.
That's what
just,
we think.
Just the way Signal is, right? It's
Why?
end-to-end encrypted. I would argue that it's like they give you one feature that, okay, we're not listening to the conversations. We trust that, and they leverage that to get
Yeah.
all the other information.
Yeah.
I think that is the business model. Like, we give you the privacy of your conversation, and we take everything else. And we somehow are okay with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Go on.
this, as WhatsApp has stated, and while they've filed a case, I think that this finding out who the originator of the messages will require us to break that end-to-end encryption. Right. So I don't see how that can be positive, because then not even the government knows. If WhatsApp breaks the end-to-end encryption, guess what? WhatsApp also knows.
You know where comes the point is that, just like you said, that Facebook knows where we are, but at the cost of keeping our conversations encrypted, right? That's what you meant. But the point is that they already are collecting a lot of data, you know, for marketing purposes, for remarketing purposes, for, you know, tracking you, advertisement and so on. So point here is that the government said that you are already collecting such data in first place. Why do they need this data? Why do Facebook needs to know where I am or what benefit?
I don't
will
think
Facebook-
the government has said that.
Facebook is already tracking you a lot, and they're selling your data to a lot of multinationals which are indirectly helping the governments.
That's the business model, right?
That's the business model. And why does governments intervene in the way, you know, the Indian government intervened in was due to complaints, due to recent increase in cyberbullying that is on all-time rise. Now we are in 21st century and killing someone's digital identity. Now let's be honest. Kangana got banned. Trump got banned. But
we've spoken about
yeah,
this.
we have spoken about this in the previous episodes. But the point was not that you know, killing
Again.
of digital identity. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
similarly, your data, government wants someone there to listen to your complaint. Someone there, a nodal officer, to actually respond to your complaint. A proper team in an organization like Twitter, organization like Facebook. That is not just India. India has a lot of people using Twitter. So someone actually hearing your complaint, someone actually telling that, you know, this hate speech, it was, you know, incited at this very point, at this very moment, it got circulated. The toolkits that we all read, you know, sometimes I'll do accept this, that, you know, political parties form toolkits. Greta Thunberg toolkit, Congress INC toolkit, BJP toolkit. कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है कि मैं INC के नाम की टूलकिट बना के, मैं बीजेपी सपोर्टर होके INC की टूलकिट बना के किसी और हैंडल से पोस्ट करवा दूँ, कोई बड़ी। पर अगर यही पता लग जाता और ओरिजिनेशन पता लग जाती है ट्रांसपेरेंट वे में, तो कितनी हेल्प हो जाती है।
Yeah, maybe Disha Ravi wouldn't have gotten arrested.
Exactly.
She was not part. Like the conversations that even came in the news were not real.
Not real.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know Disha Ravi, would you like to?
Yeah, the whole thing about the Greta Thunberg toolkit. When
Yeah.
Greta Thunberg actually tweeted something about
What to
was
do,
it?
how to do, and when to do it.
What was it about?
It was about criticism to the government. So the farmers protest. So the Greta Thunberg toolkit.
So the whole toolkit was that Greta Thunberg tweeted out
a link to the
a tweet in
Google
which she
Drive.
supported the farmers against the government, and then she actually deleted that tweet because it
She
mentioned the
hashtags
whole
to be
conversation that was about what hashtags to use and how to get
how
the
to
campaign
target
going
the
and stuff like
government.
that. And
there were some, how farmers protest to be turned it into a religious matter
Yeah.
in Punjabi Sikhs.
yeah, so
that's the problem.
So allegedly there was this alleged conversation between this 21-year-old
Yeah,
Disha Ravi.
Disha Ravi from Kerala.
Yeah, she was from Bangalore, I think. Or
Yeah,
Bangalore or
Southern
something,
India.
and there was a sedition case filed against her for some reason, and Delhi police actually went to Bangalore and arrested her out of her house. I don't know if they are allowed to do that, but they
are allowed to do
went.
that.
Can Delhi police arrest you anywhere in India?
Not anywhere in India, but the point is, Disha Ravi had her some resident in India as well, in Delhi as well.
So,
that
like,
if you live,
so
just in
like, I
case-
don't know. The sedition charge is
Yeah.
disputed, but if you're charged with sedition, I guess you can be arrested.
Just how
anywhere.
Bihar police went to Mumbai for Sushant Singh, because Sushant Singh has, you know, his residence in Bihar as
Yeah.
well,
But
and his
like-
family belongs to Bihar.
No, but that's okay to a point. That's understandable because
Yeah.
if you're like charged with the
Sedition.
betrayal of your nation,
Something
I guess
like sedition.
someone can arrest you. But okay, so she was arrested, and even India Today had this news of the whole conversation that was happening. That please delete the tweet, please do this,
delete
please do that. Alleged, and the fact of the matter is that never happened. So how does it go out to the news? And a whole ass conversation is built around something that didn't happen. There was the toolkit, but that conversation did not happen. I mean, she's now free now.
Now,
So like,
yeah, she is free now.
so I get the point that could be prevented. Right? That could be prevented if the originator of the message was known.
Yeah.
My concern is, what if the government wants to arrest Disha Ravi? What if the government actually, I'm not saying they are.
You know,
I'm not saying, let's say this government goes away. What if another government comes in? And that government specifically wants people to go to jail. They want, say, Sambit Patra to go to jail, or they want
Opposition leaders.
anyone saying opposite things to their own agenda.
Yeah.
They want them to be, like China does. Let's say a Chinese-ish government, an Indian brother of Xi Jinping comes in, and they want to do things their own way. My point is that even if Twitter could ban you,
Yeah. So
it's not as bad as the government banning you in your own country.
when Jack Dorsey actually takes up your tweet and tags it with manipulative media. So first and foremost thing is that Jack Dorsey has no right to comment upon Indian politics.
He has.
Why does he have?
Because Jack Dorsey is the CEO of a company that essentially enables communication in the whole world. So I am guessing that he can have an opinion on the whole how the whole world works.
So if a single person has the right over what you think, then you should probably delete that motherfucking app.
No, I don't.
That's as simple as that.
I don't think Twitter.
I don't want nobody to have an opinion on what I say.
I don't think Twitter flags tweets on the basis of what their opinion is. I think the community. If a lot of people report your say Instagram post, it will get flagged.
So let's just say if I have a mass group of people behind me, let's just say that I'm a political party that has somewhat like 10-20,000 followers on Instagram, and I actually forward a message that please report this particular tweet because it contains speech against us or criticism against us. Now that message gets forwarded a lot of times, alright, and that tweet gets mass reported and flagged because I have a big reach, alright. So then I can file a case against the company that why did my tweet got flagged. Then the origin of that message, then we will go back to that message that was forwarded many a times between the supporters. Then that ways and that case, the opposition can actually get somewhere or the other they can get to the root cause of the things.
But again, if the government is the sole entity in charge, it's the government's decision to think about what is hate speech and what is not hate speech.
That's when a case will be filed against you, and then judiciary comes into play. That's not.
I don't think when you have the power that our current government has, judiciary has a lot to say in between.
Judiciary definitely has a lot to say.
I mean, even if the court forgives you, you went through all that just because, say, the government wants you to go through all that. Even if Disha Ravi is acquitted now, she went to jail, right?
Now, why did she went to jail? That's very important to know, because the toll gate.
But she was innocent. Anyhow, she was innocent, right? She was innocent.
How can you say that someone's that's what judiciary said, that she is innocent, because judiciary is now here comes the independence of judiciary. Judiciary ruled out something which was already against the government. If you are saying that Disha Ravi, Delhi police arrested Disha Ravi in south of India, so ruling out her, bailing her out, getting her out from all this mess, that was judiciary's independence to give a ruling which was against government. So this certainly proves that judiciary is independent already.
Let's say, okay, the judiciary is independent. But if we go back to okay, do you want the government to listen to your phone calls? Is my question. Do you want? Okay, the telephone company listens to your conversations.
Absolutely.
Let's say they do.
Absolutely.
They have end-to-end encryption. Let's say that's just a hoax. They have full view of what you're talking about, what you're saying to people, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
They have full view. They watch you do all those creepy things. But do you want the government to see that?
You know what?
This
happens in a lot of countries. FBI does this. Now there was this massive.
But FBI.
That's government.
If Delhi police wants to know what you're talking about, they will get to know what you're talking about. They did that. They've done that multiple times. I'm talking about the US government. Do you want, let's say the BJP is in power. Do you want
Indian government,
the central government to listen to what you're saying? Let's say you're saying, let's say you're abusing the people in power.
Right.
They wouldn't like that.
They wouldn't like that, but that's not hate that you what hate comes with a bit of understanding.
Again,
understanding.
I'm saying that if Twitter considers your tweet as hate,
Yeah.
they'll ban you. Let's say the most extreme case, which I'm never in favor of. I am not at all in favor of Twitter bannings. Like, you can't ban anyone from saying anything.
That's exactly
But, like,
my point.
That's as far as they can go. Get off our platform. That's what they can do. If the government doesn't like what you're saying, you're in trouble. Guess what?